It is 9:45 at night. You are driving home. Same road you take every time. Nothing unusual. Then the lights appear behind you, red and blue, flashing. Your hands tighten on the wheel. You were not speeding. You did not run a light. You have no idea why you are being pulled over. You pull to the side. The officer walks to your window. Before you can say anything, he already knows your name. He already knows your license plate. He already knows something about your driving record and possibly something more. He looks at his device. Then he looks at you. And he asks for your license, registration, and one more thing you were not expecting. In that moment, most people say the wrong thing, not because they are guilty of anything, but because they do not know what the new system flagged, what the officer is actually looking for, and what they are and are not required to say. The next 60 seconds decide how this ends. What immigration attorneys and traffic law specialists charge $350 per hour to explain is sitting in this video. Stay with me. I am Jacob, and I went through the official documentation on the new license plate reader integration systems, state DMV database sharing agreements with federal agencies, and your rights under the Fourth Amendment and INA during a traffic stop. Everything here comes directly from published government sources, DHS.gov, and the Immigration and Nationality Act. Before we go through this, the connection between driving records and immigration status is changing fast, and most people in immigrant communities do not know it has changed at all. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so updates reach you before they reach your windshield. And join our WhatsApp community, link in the description, where we share confirmed immigration and rights updates the moment they are verified, not the moment panic spreads through the group chat. Now let me show you exactly what is happening and exactly what your rights are. Here is what is actually confirmed. Across the United States, law enforcement agencies are now widely using automated license plate reader technology, called ALPR or LPR systems. These are cameras mounted on patrol cars, bridges, and intersections that scan every license plate they pass and instantly cross-reference that plate against multiple databases. This is confirmed by the International Association of Chiefs of Police and documented in federal grants through the Department of Homeland Security that funded the expansion of these systems starting in 2022 and accelerating through 2025 and 2026. When your plate is scanned, the system can return results in under 2 seconds, including outstanding warrants, suspended registrations, expired insurance flags, and in certain jurisdictions, flags connected to federal immigration databases. Here is what is being shared in community groups that is not accurate. There are posts saying that if you drive with a state-issued driver's license, including licenses issued to undocumented individuals under state laws like AB 60 in California, or similar laws in 17 other states, federal immigration authorities are automatically notified every time your plate is scanned. That is not how the system works in most jurisdictions. The license plate scan returns the registration and status of the vehicle. What happens next depends entirely on whether your local law enforcement agency has an active data sharing agreement with ICE, and that varies by city, county, and state. Some jurisdictions have sanctuary policies that limit cooperation. Others do not. Knowing which one you are in changes everything about how you navigate a traffic stop. Now let me break down your rights in this situation one by one. The first right is your right to remain silent beyond basic identification. Under the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution, you have the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself. During a traffic stop, the legal requirements for what you must provide vary by state, but in most states, you are required to provide your driver's license, vehicle registration, and proof of insurance when asked by a law enforcement officer. You are not required to answer questions about where you came from, where you are going, who you were with, or your immigration status. The exact words to use at a traffic stop are these: "Officer, here is my license and registration. I am exercising my right to remain silent. Am I free to go?" Say that clearly and calmly. Hand over the documents you are required to provide. Then stop talking. Do not explain your evening. Do not say you were just coming from work or just dropping someone off. Every additional detail you offer is information that goes into the officer's report, whether it helps you or not. Immigration attorneys bill $300 per hour to tell clients exactly this before a traffic stop happens. You now have the same preparation. But silence is only the first protection you have. The second right is your right to refuse consent to a vehicle search. Under the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, law enforcement cannot search your vehicle without either a warrant, probable cause, or your voluntary consent. If an officer asks, "Do you mind if I look around?" that is a consent request. You are legally allowed to say no. The exact words are, "I do not consent to a search." You do not need to explain why. You do not need to justify it. Saying those 6 words does not give the officer grounds to detain you longer or escalate the stop. If the officer searches anyway after you have refused consent, that search may be legally challengeable later. Never say, "I have nothing to hide. Go ahead," even if that is true. Consenting to a search removes your Fourth Amendment protection for that interaction entirely. One item in your car that you forgot about, or that belongs to someone else, or that is legal in your state but flagged in a database, can change the outcome of the stop completely. Do not consent. Ever. Consider what happens when someone does not know this right. A person is pulled over at a routine traffic stop. The officer asks to look in the trunk. The person says, "Sure, no problem," because they think refusing looks suspicious. The officer finds documents inside the vehicle that raise questions about the passenger, not the driver. Under the plain view doctrine, those documents are now part of the stop record. What started as a license plate flag becomes a 40-minute detention and a report filed with a federal database. That outcome was completely avoidable with 6 words. The third right is your right to ask if you are free to go. This is one of the most underused rights at a traffic stop. Under the Fourth Amendment, as interpreted in Florida v. Bostic and subsequent case law, a person who is not under arrest has the right to ask whether they are being detained or are free to leave. If the officer has finished checking your documents and has no legal basis to detain you further, you can ask, "Am I free to go?" If the answer is yes, you may leave. If the answer is no, you are being detained and different rights apply. Do not assume the stop is over until you ask that question and receive a clear answer. The fourth right is your right to refuse to answer immigration questions. Under INA Section 287A, only specific authorized federal immigration officers, not local police in most jurisdictions, have the authority to demand that you prove your immigration status. If a local officer during a routine traffic stop asks where you were born, whether you are a citizen or whether you have papers, you have the right to say, "I am exercising my right to remain silent on that question." In jurisdictions with sanctuary or limited cooperation policies, local officers are specifically restricted from asking about immigration status during routine stops. Know your local policy before you need it. Never say, "I am here illegally, but I have a license." Never volunteer your immigration history to a local officer during a traffic stop. In jurisdictions with ICE data sharing agreements, that information can be entered into the stop report and create a record that follows your case long after the stop ends. The fifth right is your right to document the encounter and report any rights violations afterward. You have the right to calmly note the officer's badge number and patrol car number during a stop. After the stop ends, write down everything you remember: the time, the location, what was said, what was asked. If you believe your rights were violated during the stop, if the officer searched your vehicle without consent or without probable cause, or asked immigration questions in a jurisdiction with sanctuary policy, you can file a complaint with the department's Internal Affairs Division and contact organizations like the ACLU. Here's your exact step-by-step plan for a traffic stop. Memorize this. Step 1. When lights appear behind you, turn on your hazard lights and pull over safely and slowly. Keep your hands visible on the steering wheel when the officer approaches. Step 2. Provide your license, registration, and proof of insurance when asked. Have them ready before the officer reaches your window. Step 3. Say exactly this: "Officer, here is my license and registration. I am exercising my right to remain silent. Am I free to go?" Step 4. If asked about immigration status, say exactly this: "I am exercising my right to remain silent on that question. Nothing more." Step 5. If asked to consent to a search, say exactly this: "I do not consent to a search. Do not elaborate." Step 6. If detained beyond the document check, say exactly this: "I am invoking my right to remain silent and I want to speak to an attorney. Do not sign anything. Do not answer additional questions. Repeat only, 'I want to speak to an attorney.'" Step 7. After the stop ends, write down everything: badge number, patrol car number, time, location, exactly what was said. Here are the free resources that support everything in this video. ACLU. Know Your Rights at a Traffic Stop, aclu.org, Know Your Rights. National Immigration Law Center, NILC.org. Immigration Legal Aid, immigrationadvocates.org. To find your city or county sanctuary policy, NILC.org, or search your city name plus sanctuary policy. Races for Immigration Legal Support, racestexas.org. BIA accredited representatives, justice.gov, EOIR recognized organizations. USCIS General Line, uscis.gov, or 1-800-375-5283. One important warning before I close: there are people in immigrant communities charging money to provide Know Your Rights training or to help with traffic stop situations that you can access completely free through the ACLU, NILC, and legal aid organizations I just listed. There are also fake immigration consultants claiming they can fix database flags or remove your name from government systems for a fee. No private consultant can remove you from a government license plate database. No notario has access to federal enforcement systems. Only work with attorneys licensed by a state bar or BIA accredited representatives. Never pay anyone who guarantees they can make a government record disappear. Now I want to hear from you. Have you been pulled over and asked questions you did not know how to answer? Are you in a sanctuary city or a state that issued you a license regardless of status? Drop your situation in the comments below and tell me, which country are you originally from? Which state are you driving in right now? Your question may become the next video on this channel. I am Jacob. You have rights in this country. Knowing them is not defiance, it is protection. Take care of yourself.